Located about 190 miles from Las Vegas and 75 miles from Ely sits the Wayne E. Kirch Wildlife Management Area. Here, you can view wildlife, fish, camp, and enjoy some hot springs. It's an amazing place to spend a couple days. Today, I'll be meeting up with a few folks from the Nevada Department of Wildlife whose job it is to look after this area. I hope you're ready for some fun, because I know I am. I'm Connor Fields, and this is Outdoor Nevada. The Kirch Wildlife Management Area is approximately 14,815 acres and is a prime destination for nature enthusiasts and outdoor adventurers. The area is known for its diverse wildlife and rich natural habitat, including wetland, marshes, and meadows. The Nevada Department of Wildlife manages the WMA, and it provides critical habitat for numerous species, making it a hotspot for birdwatching, particularly during the migrating seasons. The area is also home to numerous mammals, reptiles, and amphibians, adding to its ecological significance and appeal to wildlife photographers and researchers. In addition to its wildlife observation opportunities, the Kirch WMA offers a range of recreational activities. Anglers frequent the area for its well-stocked reservoirs, including Adams-McGill Cold Springs, Dacey, and Hay Meadow, which are teeming with fish like rainbow trout and largemouth bass. Hunting is another popular activity, with the WMA supporting populations of game species such as ducks, geese, and upland birds. The area is equipped with amenities such as campgrounds, picnic areas, and boat launch sites, making it a convenient and attractive location for visitors looking to immerse themselves in Nevada's natural beauty. Whether for a day trip or for an extended stay, Kirch WMA provides a serene and engaging outdoor experience. Today, I'm meeting up with Brady from the Nevada Department of Wildlife to learn more about the area. Brady, thank you for meeting me. I was driving down the highway in the arid desert. I took a left. 15 minutes later, I am in a legit oasis. It is incredible. Can you tell me a little bit more about where we are?
So yeah, I don't think you're alone in that. It's definitely unknown, kind of. So we're in what's called the White River Valley. We're like halfway between like Vegas and Wendover. So 175-ish miles from both. In that top right corner of Nye County.
Living in Las Vegas my whole life, I had no idea that this was here. Is that a common thing? And how do you get the word out to people that this amazing thing is right here in our home state?
No, for sure. I would say, yeah, you're not alone in that. Like I said before, it's easy to miss even from the highway. Like you just drive by the highway, have you not looked over, you wouldn't have seen any water. So definitely easy to miss. I think NDOW does a pretty good job now at like social media posts and like their website and stuff to make that outreach. We recognize that a lot of our constituents, our clientele, are becoming less consumptive users, less hunters, less anglers, more just go enjoy wildlife, go enjoy the outdoors. So we're trying to cater to that and stay relevant with that group of people.
And when somebody comes here, what kind of activities can they do?
Definitely the fishing's great. The hot spring, definitely check out the hot spring. We get a decent amount of birders that come out and check out like the night sky.
Sounds like there's a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah, no,
if you're into
sure.
fishing, if you're into wildlife, if you're into birding, camping, you know, the stars.
Yeah, I don't want to say we got it all, but we got it all.
Yeah, absolutely. What kind of animals will you see out here?
We've got everything from big game animals. We get mule deer, we get an occasional elk. I won't say you'll see an elk, but an occasional elk, plenty of antelope, plenty of mule deer, and then a ton of birds. Being in wetlands, we have a ton of birds. So that's kind of the draw for most people.
Well, I've got the whole day here. What do you suggest that I go check out while I'm here?
Oh no, for sure. You got to hit the hot springs up, do some fishing. I always tell everybody that claims they never can catch fish, you'll catch a fish here. So do some fishing, go swimming, and then, yeah, enjoy the camping and the night sky.
That sounds like a wonderful day to me. I'm gonna go do that. I really appreciate you meeting me and telling me a little bit about the area, and I'm gonna go check it out.
Sounds good. Thanks, Connor.
I've cast lines all throughout Nevada, traditional angling and fly fishing. Today, I'm gonna try something new, kayak fishing, and I am so excited. But before I head out on the water, I'm gonna get a lesson in safety and paddling technique from Nick, who works with the Nevada Department of Wildlife. Nick, I am so excited. I have never fished from a kayak before. Can you tell me a little bit about what we're looking at here?
Yeah, what you're having here is a recreational kayak, and it's going to be a little bit different than the one you'll be fishing with Abby. Hers is a little longer, a little wider, but all the rules, regulations, the safety stuff, it's all the same. So
gotta have it bigger and wider for when we're reeling in those big fish, right?
Exactly. I hear there's some monsters out there. So some of this required safety equipment you're going to need, it varies and changes depending on the time of the season. So if it's cold, you're going to need to like layer up in clothes. You know, you wear something that's water wicking on the bottom, then something warm, and then a heavier jacket on the top. That way, if you get hot, you get too cold, whatever it is, you can layer that on and off, but it's always there with you. And you keep it in what we have. It's like a dry sack. You put whatever you want in there, you roll it up, and then you clip it, and
stays dry.
Stays dry, even if you fall in the water. God forbid, we don't want that to happen. But one of the requirements that you're gonna have while you're out there is you always have to have a life jacket on, okay? The reason being is you never know what's gonna happen. And you have a great chance, a better chance, I should say. You'd have a better chance of surviving an accidental fall in the water. Even if it's near shore, far from shore, you don't know.
Yep.
Having a life jacket on makes a huge difference.
So I'm out there, I've got all my safety equipment. Something happens and I fall in. Is there a system or a way to get back in, or do you just pull yourself up? How do I get back in?
On these, what you want to do is find which side's your better side. For me, I need to enter this kayak from this side. I need to have the bow facing to my right, because my left leg is more flexible and I can get it to where I need it to go easier than my right. What you do is you get next to your kayak, you take your paddle and use this as for stability and ballast, sort of like this. Put it one side out further than the other.
About a 90-degree angle?
Yeah, about a 90-degree angle, because you don't want to lose it, you want to have it under control. But now what you can do is, here, let me move this jacket out of the way real quick. What you can do is you can grab onto, have your paddle secure, grab onto the side, and you want to put your feet straight out behind you and kick into the boat, not up. That's where a lot of people make the mistake, is they do a big kick and try to pull themselves straight up on the boat, and what happens is the boat tips straight up, you wind up being in the same position.
So when you say kick, do you mean kick is like the same way you're swimming?
Same way, like a strong, powerful swimming kick. You grab this, pull yourself, and then grab the other side and get your life jacket and your chest into the boat.
Just get some mass up there, and then the more mass you get up there, the easier it is to pull yourself in.
Yeah, and then if you don't feel stable at this point, don't rush it. Sit there, relax, catch your breath, think about what you're gonna do next. And next, what you'll do is just spin your leg up in, sit your seat in the bottom, and you're good to go.
And you're on your way. Well, I really appreciate the safety lesson. I feel like I'm ready to go, and I'm excited to get out there and catch some fish. I'm gonna go catch up with Abby.
All right, good luck.
Thank you. Abby is one of the angler education experts with the Nevada Department of Wildlife. She's well-versed in all disciplines of angling. What's going on, Abby?
Hi, Connor. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. I am so excited to do some kayak fishing. Just learned a little bit about the safety process when you're out there on the kayak, but now I'm here and these look completely different from what I learned on.
So not totally different, but definitely has more built-in add-ons with straps for our tools, and that way we can be a little bit more hands-free with the pedals.
And these ones look like they have a totally different seat.
Yeah, so these always come with a nicer seat so we can stay out on the water longer. It also lifts you up off the water a little bit more and helps you see into the water.
What are we going to be fishing for today?
So out here is a little bit of everything. We have everything from catfish on the bottom, and then in the middle column we have crappie and trout, and then bass will potentially be hitting the top.
After reviewing the basics, we talked through the poles and the bait. First thing about fishing from a kayak is being prepared. You want to make sure you have everything you need before heading out onto the water. Once we launched, it was a short paddle out onto the reservoir. It's amazing that this body of water is here. So peaceful, so calm. It is absolutely beautiful. It wasn't too long before I got a bite. And after a few misses, I got one. I will say, wrangling the fish and managing gear to get the bass out of the water is not easy in a kayak. It is definitely something you have to get used to. The last thing I wanted was to end up in the drink. Thankfully, Abby paddled over to give me a hand. It was a nice-sized bass, 3 to 4 pounds. It is such a great feeling to actually catch something. I savored the moment, then it was a smooth release back into the water. This is such a chill way to fish. Spending time on the water is a great escape, and being here makes it all the better. It's such an amazing place. I could definitely spend a few days just doing this, but there is much more to see and do. Next up is an underwater adventure. After a day full of fishing, wildlife viewing, and exploring this incredible area, there is no better place to unwind than right here, in the hot springs. We say hot springs, but it's really a mid to high 80s, and it feels amazing. While I'm here, I'm gonna meet up with Mark, a fish biologist with the Nevada Department of Wildlife, to learn more about this area and meet some of the locals. Mark, what kind of fish do we have here in the hot springs?
Well, in this hot springs, they are the White River springfish. They're part of the poolfish family, and there are subspecies starting all the way up in Preston, about 50 miles north of here, all the way down to Moapa. There's some isolated springs, just like this one, that have different subspecies of the White River springfish.
So there's subspecies, so it's the same species but a little bit different. Can you explain that a little bit to me?
Sure. So we are in the White River Valley up here, which is a tributary to the Colorado River. And thousands of years ago, there was water flow from Preston all the way down to the Colorado River. And as the climate dried and warmed, all these springs became really isolated, and the fish kind of became their own group because they were only tied to those particular springs. There's springs in Preston, here at Kirch Wildlife Management Area, and then down in Paranagit Valley in Alamo, and then down in Moapa. And one more species of springfish over the mountain range here to the west in Railroad Valley. We have the Railroad Valley springfish, which are very similar, but still a little bit different.
Are they all pretty similar in size?
Yeah, similar in size. They look very similar morphologically, and they all live in pretty much this type of habitat. Warm springs, thermal springs, various temperatures, but all pretty warm.
They know how to do it, just to hang out in this beautiful water.
Yeah, this is one
Smart
of the
fish.
best places to come, and live. The majority of native fish in Nevada are endemic to the state, which means that they are found nowhere else except here in Nevada, which makes it an exciting job.
Absolutely, and I think it gives me pride to know that there's endemic fish in a state that it's not all desert, but it's associated with the desert often.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of endemic fish I think is really, really special.
Yeah.
So as a fish biologist working here specifically, what are some of the challenges that you face?
Here, remoteness is a big one. We're really far from pretty much anywhere, and then managing the fish. One of my biggest issues is watching out for invasive species. Just downstream here, there's a culvert, and the water goes into a ditch down to the other reservoirs, and in that ditch is largemouth bass. Luckily, we have a fish barrier right there below the culvert, but the bass are right up there, and that's always a concern of mine, that bass will get up here into the spring, and they would just feed on all these little spring fish. This
These
is like
bass food.
Yeah, perfect bait for bass. So that's going to be one of the things we do, is to make sure there aren't any bass up here in the spring.
What's your favorite thing about working here?
Geez, that's a tough question, because I enjoy the remoteness of the area.
So the most challenging thing is also your most favorite thing?
Yeah, I love being out here in the middle of nowhere. Luckily, the department gives me a truck to come out and do all this stuff, but I get to come to these really cool habitats for fish. Not many people get to do something like that. That's pretty much one of my favorite things about this job, is coming out to all these really cool places that never really visited before. I mean, I grew up here in Nevada, and it wasn't until my summer job that I finally actually saw these spots. I really had no idea.
Right here as I sit here, the longer we've stayed, the more fish have come up to me. And I'm even feeling some of them come and kind of touch me a little bit.
Yes.
It almost feels like they're nibbling on me just a little bit. It doesn't hurt.
No.
But I can feel it. Just a slight little, hello.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing? How you doing? What are they doing?
They are eating the dead skin off of your body.
Huh.
In fact, not these particular fish, but there are spas that you can go sit in the water, and they'll come and you let them nibble at your skin and take all the dead skin off of you. But that's pretty much what they're doing.
I'm getting a spa treatment. This is fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah.
Normally you got to pay extra for this. Is there a way that we could take a closer look at these fish?
Absolutely. We just grab our masks and snorkels, and we could just hop in and start swimming upstream, and we'll check them out and see just how many are living in the spring.
I'm going to go snorkeling in a spring in Nevada, and I'm going to add that to sentences that I never thought I would say. I'm excited. Let's do it. All right, Mark, I am so excited. When we go under, what are we looking for?
Okay, so we're going to be looking for the native spring fish, and they're very distinct. You're not going to have a hard time picking them out. They're a bit green with a kind of yellow stripes, and you'll even see some black ones. Here we're look around. The main spring head is just right here behind us. It's a big hole in the ground, about 30 feet deep, 20 feet deep. So as you're going down, just make note of, that's pretty much the only fish you're gonna see in here are the spring fish. The mosquito fish are usually up here on the surface. The spring fish are usually down along the bottom.
When we get over to that hole where the spring is, can I swim down under there?
Absolutely. If you can get down and handle the deep water, absolutely. It's totally big enough. It's not a cave, it's more of a hole.
All right, I'm excited.
All right.
Let's do it. I've snorkeled before, But this was a trip. It is otherworldly. And to think just outside of this spring, not more than 100 feet, is desert. Crazy. The other thing, you can feel the pressure and the force of the spring water pushing out from the aquifer below us. It's amazing. I see everything from small ones all the way up to some real sizable ones.
Yeah, these particular spring fish are some of the biggest of the species. I think it's also because of the size of our habitat here that they have room to grow.
And do the bigger ones like to live right around here near the spring?
I don't think it's necessarily they're tied to the spring head. It just happens to be this is where they're feeding, because you'll see size like this all over the area here.
I love it. Well, hey, I'm going to see how far down I can
right.
get and see if I can get down to the bottom.
Sounds good.
It's deep down there.
It's deeper than it looks,
You
huh?
can keep going. If you kept following that, what would you go, or what'd you find?
You'd head on down into the underground aquifer. The water would get hotter and hotter, and you could probably go for hundreds and hundreds of feet before you even reached any kind of bottom.
I'm gonna take your word for it. I couldn't help myself. I had to go back and take another look. It is just so crazy to me that all this water is being pumped out from the earth. There's no man-made valves or pipes. It's purely nature's plumbing. So cool. I could spend all day snorkeling around these springs and watching all the local inhabitants. It's incredible to see so many fish that exist only in Nevada, and only in this spring system. Just think about that for a second. These fish you're looking at only exist right here, in Nevada. Incredible. This place is amazing. It's unbelievable out here.
My favorite place.
How can people protect this area and make sure that they conserve it?
Well, one of the biggest things is, since we're so remote out here, is to pack out everything that you bring in. There's no real trash pickup out here, so picking up after yourself is one of the key things. And another thing with these warm springs, one of my biggest fears is introduction of invasive species. And one of our biggest invasives are aquarium fish. And you get people that don't want to flush their fish down the toilet, and when they get tired of them, and they're like, well, there's this nice hot springs up in outside of Alamo that we'll just go throw them there and they can live happily. But then they'll end up destroying the habitat.
Right, it's good for that fish, but it's bad for all the other fish.
Yeah,
right?
for the actual fish that live in this area, that are from this area. You know? Those are two of the biggest things, and always come prepared, because we are remote. Prepare for weather, water, food, stuff like that.
Sunscreen.
Yeah.
All the essentials.
Sunscreen for sure.
I really appreciate you showing me around. What do you say we get back out there and see if we can find some more fish?
Sounds great.
And I have to give a huge thank you to everyone with the Nevada Department of Wildlife for all that they do. This adventure would not have been possible without them. The Kirch Wildlife Management Area is a true oasis in the desert. Whether you're into bird viewing, wildlife viewing, fishing, or even swimming amongst the fish, there is something here for everybody and you will not be disappointed. Till next time, I'm Connor Fields, and this is Outdoor Nevada. If you liked what you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode of Outdoor Nevada.